Welcome back to Fun. I hate podcast intros. They're the worst. I hate doing them. You just say the same thing. You heard the theme song. You're just like, let's get to it. Because that's when I watch a podcast or listen, I'm just like, just shut up. Just shut up and get to it. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shut up and get to it. With me, as always, is the chuckle wizard and producer extraordinaire, Nathan, collegiate professor. You add so much cred to this. You know what I mean?
Track, baby.
Yeah. And it's the professor. It's the professor and the clown. Do. Welcome to my podcast.
It's a morning zoo show.
This is the best podcast intro I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah. There you go. Well, it's the sentiment. It's the sentiment. Hold on.
I got everything I needed.
Did I just hear someone over there in the wings? Is there someone in the wings waiting?
Dan, he's not coming out. He's just waiting.
He's waiting. He's not going to come out. Do you think we can? Come on, everyone at home. Say with
everybody
me.
Clap your
come
hands.
out, Brendon.
Clap
You
your
must sing
hands.
this song. Give my regards to Broadway. See, here he comes. This
is going to get us demonetized. Don't start singing that.
Come out, Brendon.
True.
That's what my mom was saying. Sophomore through junior year of high school.
Honey,
come on, just do it.
Was she? We'll get into that. We'll get into that later. We'll put a pin in that.
That's for therapy.
It's quite a story.
Podcast.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, as a straight man in theater, like, you know, your queerness is always in question. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it's wild, but I mean, you know, you do great in the dating scene. I gotta say,
it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
But there's always a sneaking suspicion. Your girlfriend's always looking over her shoulder, being like, "Is he?" You know, she like when she's alone with your mom, they talk about it. You know what I mean?
It's like
it's that kind of
showing any signs.
Well, theater majors. Theater people in general. Like, even if you're straight, you're the gayest.
Yeah, you're on the spectrum.
possible.
Yeah, you're on the spectrum.
Yeah.
You're on the spectrum.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Brendon, what's going on, man? It's so great to have you on.
Thank you so much.
You're
after
so
the
handsome.
Loss that the Mets just had. It's great to be here.
The Mets
Opening day.
I have to after I say the other thing, I have to be like straight.
Yeah, you have to. About to say, what an overcompensation in the other direction, Brendon. My God, I don't think we've ever talked about sports in this podcast ever.
Yeah.
I think that you're the first one to ever mention a sport. So.
I've just started getting into it. It's really it was chaos. It was chaos last year.
That's also a thing non-straight people say is I'm just starting to get into sports.
It's they had Grimace, they had a rally pumpkin. Every day was a meme.
Yeah,
and I was like, this is the greatest sport I've ever seen.
Sports marketing is doing okay. We're doing okay. Brendon, I like you because is it Brendon? It's an O. It's an O. But what is your preferred pronunciation?
you know,
like Brendy? Do people call you Brendy?
No, do not call me Brendy.
We've got a sore spot.
Me.
Yeah, wow.
I had
your Manchurian candidate word, I guess.
In college, I had a teacher who just referred to me as Brendy Hendy.
Oh no!
Every all day, every day.
I just brought up some deep stuff for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, I'm so sorry to take you there.
Well, now you know. You can I have another friend who calls me Brendy Hendy to this day. Just because they know it gets that response.
Wow.
And now everybody listening
I don't want to have that
Brendy
kind of.
Hendy.
I don't want to have any antacantistic relationship with you. You know what I mean? I want us to be on good terms.
Early into the pod.
I'm Canadian. I can take it. It's okay.
No. But a Canadian. But you're in New York. You relocated, or are you back in Canada? What happened?
No, I'm in Albany now. So we're like 2 hours north of New York. Just because we had to get out of the city for rent.
Just get out of how are you going to pay it? As Adam Pascal once asked me.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, we've put so many tariffs now on our musicals too.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
You gotta importing musicals. What attracts you as a Canadian to musical theater? Like, what got you hooked into it? I just have to know. You were a theater kid? Is that what it
Yes.
was?
Oh yeah. Absolutely.
Is there a great Canadian musical when you were growing up, like that you aspired to?
I have to add an asterisk because it's like, in the eyes of the U.S. government, yes, I'm a Canadian. In reality, I moved to America when I was 3 months old, and my mom just forgot to sign a document with the Department of Homeland Security.
So where has your residence been? Where did you grow up?
Utah.
Utah?
Yeah.
They have a great theater scene in Utah.
State we have, Utah.
The gayest state we have, but they don't want you to know it.
No,
Like, that's the thing.
No. Utah's a great theater scene, man.
It
Some
is.
really wild
It's
theater.
in the northern part. If
Are
you're in
you?
the
Did you
southern
ever go to
part,
that one in
it's not
Utah?
bad.
It's like 2 stories, and it's like in the round.
Yeah,
and they had like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang once, like fly like crazy stuff that they do.
That
man.
one's, I think that's Hale, right? Hale Center Theater.
I don't know. I'm just wildly impressed every time I see it. I can't
It's
get
the
enough
stuff
of
you
it.
can do and come up with when you don't have caffeine in your system.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. Okay, so you grew up in Utah, doing theater in Utah. I just need to get a brief dossier on you, so I understand.
It's like
Understand
one of
the
my
context.
Like one of my earliest memories that I have. I was probably like 3, and it was one of my uncle's birthdays. And I remember that we had this like an old Panasonic camera that had the tapes in it, and I was like picking it up and I was filming the birthday party. But of course, you needed trailers first, so I like took out all the VHSs and I was like, "Oh yeah, look at this! Here's the Grinch. It's coming soon," and all that stuff. So it's like that is like movies, acting. I was putting on shows.
You're always doing
on
gigs.
the kindergarten.
You're always doing bits.
Yeah. Oh,
I see. You're a bit-driven child. I got you.
That was my job. Like, that's the thing.
Don't I know
Dan,
it?
were you as affected by the fact that he mentioned Homeland Security as like a thing that existed when he was born or was like a small child? When I like have a distinct memory of being in high school and then being like, Homeland Security is a thing now, and like it makes me thanks a lot. I'm feeling my age today.
Yeah.
Wow.
Homeland Security, man. They'll get you every time. They're back.
They'll get you every time.
They're back.
They're back and better than
just
ever,
like,
baby.
Just like McRibs. They circled back around, and Homeland Security's back at it, baby.
They're the
Keep an eye out.
Uncle O'Grimacy of the government.
My green card's good for 10 more years. So
whoa, cool.
There you go.
I just renewed it last year because I knew what was about to happen.
Smart move.
What was your
You knew better
what was
than
your
us.
like what was your big High School Musical moment? Like what was your did you have a moment? Did you have a role, a part? Did something happen?
Yeah, it's the most fitting role because it's what I do every day now. I was man in chair in Drowsy Chaperone.
Oh.
So
everything's tracking.
Yeah, for people who don't know, Drowsy Chaperone, it's like a musical within a musical. But there's this guy who he pulls out his favorite record and then he walks the audience through the history of that musical.
Whoa, you know what? I just realized maybe Happy
now.
Ending uses the exact same gimmick, essentially.
Do they?
Have you seen it? Are you
I haven't
familiar?
gotten to see it yet.
Yeah, well, the
No.
show opens. We'll circle around to it because I want to
It
talk
opens
about
up
Broadway.
with dark lights and them saying, "I hate the theater."
A man in the chair. No, actually, you come into the theater when the house opens. One of the characters of the show is on the stage listening to vinyl in a chair, and like he's just listening to a vinyl, and it's gorgeous because then the first scene transitions into the singer singing it. Like it's like the song that's on the vinyl. It's such a cool moment. It's such a cool. But yeah, man in chair. Listening to his favorite record. I saw it. I saw the original cast.
I'm so
it was fine.
jealous.
It was fine. It was fine. No intermission. You know,
ours did. We had to add
of
an
course.
intermission.
Oh, well, yeah, you got to sell those concessions,
It was
babe.
so awkward.
You got to turn it. Where'd you cut it?
Right
Oh,
after.
where he does it. He does the bit where he eats the Nutri-Grain bar. Did you do?
No,
did
it
you
was
do?
like- it was
did
like
you do
right-
the Nutri-Grain?
Yeah, but that's what made it more awkward is that we cut like intermission was right before that scene. So I'd tell everybody, go out, get snacks, go to the bathroom, and then we'd come back and I'd say, I gotta pee. And then I'd go off stage.
Oh, yeah. Well, you know what? That works for the character.
It does.
I guess it
does.
works. I guess it does work. Okay. What was the first big YouTube thing that popped off? Was it your Carrie doc?
It was Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. What an interesting... You could probably make another 10 videos about Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark. You could keep mining that same
It's
that
on the
same-
list.
Yeah,
like there's
to go back to it.
Revamping that video is definitely on the list.
Right, and also the fact that Hadestown is a weird Spider-Man turn off the dark multiverse story, like you
Wait.
know, like
Explain.
well, you have Reeve Carey, right? Carney, Reeve Carney. He's Spider-Man, the big one, you know.
Yeah.
And you have old deep voice Magoo. What's his name?
Patrick Page.
Patrick Page. He was the Green He was Green Gobbies in Spider-Man.
Like me, I know.
And he was also the Grinch because he has a thing for green characters.
Also the Grinch. Yes. Now, Hadestown comes around. Who do we get but Reeve Carney and Patrick Page? You know.
And
do you
it's
think
in another
everything's in
telling of
a
a-
ver- Do you think
keep
everything's
going.
in a verse if two actors are in the same thing
Well,
together?
it's like the actors alone isn't enough because another thing that's weird is that it's another retelling of a Greek myth, which Julie Taymor with Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark, she was like, let's tell it like a Greek myth. And so
Right.
And it
was
worked
kinda
out.
Like, yeah, it's the Greek
Clearly.
myth that actually worked out.
What if it was you two that ruined the creative process? What if we're pinning all the blame in the wrong place? No,
I firmly believe
It was
the Edge.
everybody.
It was everybody.
Everybody messed that up.
Yeah. So Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark was your first the big one.
Yeah.
What a compelling story though too. How many people ultimately got hurt in that?
I think it was like 14 or 18. Nobody died though. That's a common misconception is they think somebody died. The only
Right.
person that died was the producer, but the contracts hadn't been signed yet, so it didn't count.
What? Why is that like a murder mystery? Is there, or do
You have to watch
we
the
know
video.
cause of death?
You have-
I
you have
have
to
to watch the video. I
That's
have
good
watched
selling
it
right there.
I have watched it, but it was a decade ago. Not really. It was like you put the video out like 4 years ago or something, right? Like
It was like 6 years, I think.
Yeah. I was watching your Carrie episode today, and it's so funny because I watched the Audrey doc, and you're all mustachioed up. And I felt like you were Benjamin Buttoning for me because then I go to and without the mustache, and I get it because if I shave my face, I also look incredibly young. Without a little bit of facial hair, man, you look like a teenager. You know what I mean? So I get it. You were a baby, an
That's
infant in those videos, an infant, a child. But then I watch my old videos and I feel the same way about me. I'm so old, I'm dying. But
It's so fun. Like I can go through and I can just track like where my mental state was depending on how I look. It's like, oh, this was Philadelphia. This is when I wasn't eating.
yeah, it is. It
bad
is
time.
odd to have like a historical record of your insanity. Yeah, that is an interesting way to.
That's literally what
Yeah.
that's literally what being online is.
Oh yeah,
for.
it's
Like,
wild.
oh, look at New York City. There's the mold poisoning apartment. You can tell. Look at that
You
complexion.
can tell I was slowly dying here.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Now you're married. Mm-hmm. And what I think is cool.
To a woman.
I wish I knew which button was the dramatic sound. Is it this one?
No, it wasn't. But it worked well. And I'm excited that sometime in the future you'll get to experience what we just experienced.
I'll know what green does. Yeah, for everyone to know, that's the green button for future
Okay,
reference.
we'll keep
You
it
wanna-
up.
Patrick
Put a-
Page would love it.
But yeah.
It's the only Bunny likes.
Now, here's something that I dig is that your partner is your script editor, and I think that that's very cool. And I don't really get to talk about YouTube doings like this with a lot of people, but my girlfriend is also a writer, and
Yeah.
and an editor, and so she edits for a lot of my stuff that I don't know what to do with next, or I need some new direction, or I need a punch up or something. Like she really knows how to jump in there. What's it like working with her to write new episodes and have
It's great.
I know that she's also written her own episode that you've just put together.
Yeah, she wrote. It's a really interesting deep dive on the history of F. Scott Fitzgerald's flop play that he wrote that inadvertently led to The Great Gatsby. Like Great Gatsby would not have existed without this flop show that ran in Atlantic City for 3 days.
Whoa.
But she did all the research on that. She wrote the whole thing, and it's really exciting. The F. Scott Fitzgerald Society, which I'm a member by proxy, but they're having their 2025 conference this year in New York City, and it's like a big celebration of the 100th anniversary of Great Gatsby. And so we just found out last week that documentary is going to open up the conference, which we're very excited about.
Neat.
But it's like it's even more special for Juliana because that's like her baby. But
That's
it's
very
great.
cool.
Like there's no one else I could trust with my work really to be as honest as she is, because it's like you get those script pages back and they are just marked from like you. It's so fun at the beginning. You cannot tell what is going on. There's so much red everywhere.
Yeah.
And then it's just fun to see it get less and less and less. But it's super supportive.
When you guys, when you're writing, are you picking stories together now? Does she pitch a story? Are you still out there like mining Broadway history for fun things to talk about?
Yeah, it's mainly just we have our list. And especially because we do our Kickstarter every year. And so we did something different with the fundraiser last year where it's the people got to pick or fund the shows of a season that we got. So we're diving into those now, which is really exciting.
So you have a nice block of content already pre-planned. I really strongly recommend people do that. It takes a big weight off your shoulders if you have some direction for your year of content. I know it sounds crazy to think about what I'm going to do for the next year content-wise, especially if you have reactionary content, which we all do in some way, shape, or form. I know that you've reacted sometimes to like some kind of Broadway thing. But by and large, it's not hard to plan out your schedule. Just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. Make a
Especially
schedule.
like just looking at stories that have already happened that there's not a time frame on really. It's a bit different with chess though, because everybody keeps dying. So it's like it's a race against the clock to get these stories preserved before.
Wow. Chess
everyone's
was one of
gone.
the first pieces I ever learned in voice lessons.
Oh wow.
and
What
so,
song?
Anthem.
Wow.
I know, crazy, right? So, what an insane! My voice teacher was insane. God bless her.
That's
Gail.
a really intense song.
It sure is, baby. Don't I know it? And The Street Where You Live from My Fair Lady were the two songs. So, what a combo! It's
One of these things is not like the other.
I assume that when you're discussing your significant other helping you, you are exclusively talking about your show, because I assume I'm the work wife when it comes to fun.
yes, yeah. I'm talking about the Disney Dan channel. Yeah, baby, don't worry.
Double check.
Don't worry.
Okay.
My podcast Innie is in love with your podcast Innie. So
Don't spoil anything for me.
No, wouldn't dare.
Oh, okay.
no, it's so funny.
To record this and then forget I've done it. What a wonderful life I would lead.
I know, right? I often think sometimes when I go into work now that I switch into Innie mode and it helps me
I'm
cope.
in the same boat. And it's
helps
just like
me cope.
my innie just never leaves. Like
Yeah.
that's the problem.
Praise Kier. It's fine. It's fine.
Praise Kier.
I think I'm going to Praise Kier tattoo. So,
Where are the goats? Just give me a second.
where are the goats? Where are they? What is the state of Broadway right now, Brendon? Can you give me the quick rundown? Are things looking grim, like I hear? Is it really that bad, or are we going to be okay?
It's just we do this every year, and everybody acts like it's just like a brand new thing. It's like this is just it's the cycle.
It's the
But
cycle.
That being said, shows are, I would say, closing faster than I think we've ever seen, really, because especially for me, who the channel covers like flops and shows that close so fast, I don't think it's ever been as difficult for me to get to all the shows that are closing.
Yeah. Is it weird to try to cover these things as they're happening instead of with the hindsight? Like, is it almost better to cover the stuff that's happened, like, in the double lots, like, in the 2000s or the 2010s, instead of even touching? Sometimes I even have a hard time even making reactionary content like that.
Yeah.
Because it's like the whole story isn't even told yet. Like, we don't even
and it's like
know.
we don't know what's going on. It's like we're not in the room.
We don't know.
The only
what's
time I
going on.
really did it was with everything going on with Funny Girl and the Leah Michele recasting Beanie Feldstein.
Sure.
But that wasn't even like documenting what was happening. That was just telling people, calm down. Like, we don't know what's going on. And something that we have for the channel is that we've got a 3-year rule. So we won't cover a show unless it's 3 years from the opening day on Broadway.
Okay, that's cool. That's a nice standard to have. So that's put you in a pretty good place. And that actually interestingly enough, will tie into my cold Broadway theory that we're going to talk about just in a little bit. But we'll get there. So what is a recent show that you've seen that you've loved?
That I've loved.
Yeah, have you been into the city lately? What's at least something you've tolerated? My God,
I do like
hard.
What's the state of Broadway? And you're like, it's it's okay, it's fine. And
I
it's like,
never
what
said
have
it's
you loved?
okay.
You're
I
like,
just said this is what happens. I'm in like a difficult spot where I only go and I watch the shows that are closing fast. So it like
you're
Juliana
like the
gets to
Grim
go and
Reaper
see.
of Broadway.
Oh yeah, I'm always like, it's gonna hit a point where they see me in the front row and they go, "Uh-oh, the Wait in the Wings guy is here."
All right, so what shows have you seen that have closed abruptly that you were thought, oh, that's going to make a good video one day?
Tammy Faye.
Oh,
Tammy
okay.
Faye. I rushed to see that, and then the day after I saw it, they announced they were closing, and I was like, that tracks.
Yeah. Now, I actually have a question about that because it was a British show first, right? It was a West End thing, and then it was brought over here. The West End has such a bizarre, like, and maybe that's what we do to English people, I know, with Hamilton or whatever, but the West End has such an interesting approach to American stories.
Dan, before you continue, I think it's very important to understand there's got to be at least one person that has no idea what we're talking about.
There's a Tammy Faye musical
about Tammy Faye Baker.
about Tammy Faye Baker, yep, famously.
So-
and there's a production
And
in
who
the
was
West
Tammy Faye
End.
Baker?
Who is she?
Yeah.
A Christian icon is who she is.
Like
a weirdly queer icon
Televangelist.
as well.
Yeah. And so it's a retelling of her story. It opened in London on the West End. It did very well. It came over to
Yeah.
America. It had some
closed in,
casting
like, 2
changes.
weeks.
And
Yeah.
had some and closed it very rapidly. And I definitely think the casting changes affected that. But are you not allowed to talk about that? Is that taboo to be like,
you
it
can
was
talk
cast
about it.
Okay, because who was it in London that did Andrew Reynolds not come over? Is that what it was?
It was going to be Andrew Reynolds, but then they just couldn't figure out a contract.
Yeah.
And so then they brought in Christian Borle.
And that lack of chemistry and the whole new approach, it just was a different show. And it just, whatever. It was
a
interesting.
show that, like, I don't think really knew what it wanted to be. It was like it had seconds where it wanted to be really serious and a real commentary on this stuff, but then other times where it was like, let's go full on camp and like really, really just up the ridiculousness of it.
Sure.
And those moments were great, but then it was way too long. It was like 3 hours.
Whoa, thanks.
We got to intermission and I needed
Check,
to go to
please.
the bathroom, and the person who was sitting next to me was unconscious. And I could not get past them. I had to go around, and then they were asleep till the end of the show.
I mean, that's a sign of things for sure.
It was rough.
Wow.
It was
But I
rough.
think even some good stuff is closing. I just saw A Wonderful World, which I was very much in love with. I thought it was a great like Broadway biopic of Louis Armstrong or Louis Armstrong. I guess when he was in the band, he was referred to as Louis, but when he was an individual performing, he was Louis. And so there's a distinction between those. But it was a really cool musical told from the perspective of his 4 wives. And I was obsessed with it. I loved it. I didn't know that Louis Armstrong was a mega stoner because it is a huge plot point in the show. Like that guy is always talking about where his weed is. It's
He loves
amazing.
the jazz You don't get raspy for nothing.
Did you see that cannibal show? Like the man
Swept
cannibals?
away.
Yeah, did you see that?
I was gonna go see it, but it closed too fast, and I was out of town. Like I was in Utah, and it closed.
Back visiting Utah. I see.
Yeah, they didn't
I have
wait for me.
for a while there, for about a year, we were doing like the first preview performance of every show we could go to. If it got announced, we would just jump on. Usually you could get like $70 ticket. Like it's not hard.
Yeah.
It's not expensive. We saw the opening preview of like Into the Woods and the opening preview of all kinds of stuff. I don't know, Once on a Mattress or Once on This Island on a Mattress, whatever that show is about a mattress with Sutton Foster. Many different things. And it's a really cool vibe to be in the room for the first night because everyone's friends and family are there.
Oh, it's
everything's
so
exciting.
exciting.
Yeah, it's super exciting. But like, then you don't have to worry about not being around when it closes.
Yeah.
So maybe, Brendon, we got to get on the first preview train.
Oh, that first preview of Shucked was unlike anything I'd ever experienced.
I was there. there. I was at the first preview of Shrek 2. We were there together.
Like so close.
Oh, but we
have
didn't.
I ever told you? Have I told you the story about?
No.
Have I told you my story from this? Okay, so it was so funny because there was this lady sitting behind me. And apologies if you're listening, but also not because you were very rude. But there was this lady sitting behind me.
For clarification, Shucked is a musical about corn. That's all. I just wanted to tell you, it's just a musical about corn. It's on tour right now. Go see it. But back to you, Brendon.
I'd like to make a point real quick. Elton John can't keep a musical open, but Korn, been there.
Well,
we're good.
Korn couldn't keep a music open.
Well,
it didn't run. It only ran for about a year, but just
that's still better than what's been going on. So
these days, yeah.
But there was a girl sitting behind me. She was on a date, and intermission hit, and she just started going to town on this show. She's like, "This is one of the worst things I've ever seen. The music is just so annoying and so bad. The characters are stupid. All this stuff." But she was really harping on the music, like really just said she did not like the score at all. So fast forward, second act happens, the show ends, and I think it was the director came out. It was somebody involved with it, and he says to everybody, "Really quick, we just want to give a big shout out to our composers who are here." And they motioned up, and they were sitting right next to me. So it's like they were there as she was doing this whole thing of just how bad the music was.
I love it.
Oh, it was so bad.
I really liked the music was great.
Show.
The music was very it was great Broadway musical music.
Independently owned was incredible.
Yeah. So truly incredible. It weirdly feels like two songwriters took a book of like a bunch of songs they've written that they knew were decent but had no place for them and kind of like retooled them. Like it's just a lot of country fun. I enjoyed it a lot. Oh my gosh, what a preview. What a moment.
Oh, it was electric. It was magic. I got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Oh man.
But I did want to say there is one show I saw. It's not on Broadway, but it's at the Pan Asian Repertory Theater. And it was a play called My Man Kono, which I think deserves a shout out. It was a really great play about Charlie Chaplin's chauffeur, who he like lived this incredible life with Charlie Chaplin, but then when they started putting Japanese citizens into internment camps, he was one of the people who was taken and put into an internment camp and held. Oof. So it's like told through that perspective of him in the internment camp trying to like they break through all of this espionage stuff that he was accused of, while also flashing back to his time with Chaplin. It was beautiful. It was gorgeous.
Wow.
So that deserves a shout out.
Wow. Check that out if you can, if you're close to New York. Is it still open?
I don't know. I think it is.
Well, you saw it, so it might be closed now.
No, I got invited to this one by a friend. I had a friend who worked on it.
And that doesn't matter. Like, the Grim Reaper, it doesn't matter if you, I just reached out and shook his hand and now I'm dead.
It was a limited run. They closed on March 9th.
Well.
So sorry,
Brendon
don't check it out.
Strikes again.
But follow Howard Ho on YouTube because he did the sound design and he invited me to do it. So
I just saw Maybe Happy Ending, which
that was on my list. I've been wanting to see that.
Oh man, it really is such a wonderful piece of theater. It's so incredibly depressing. The ending is so bittersweet. It's not, but the journey is really, really fun. And I think of all people, Nathan, I think you would absolutely love it because it's told from the perspective of this Korean gentleman who gets like a robot assistant, like a robot. You know, like it's mentioned iRobot, but they look like people. You know what I mean? It's right. Literally the whole gig. And he instills in this robot an intense love of American jazz. And so this robot is like deeply informed about the American jazz scene. And like, that's all. And like, it's very much informative of like a lot of Asian culture. There's lots of things, like even the anime Cowboy Bebop, for example, heavily inspired by the American jazz scene. And
no one is doing jazz better in the world right now than the Japanese. Period. The discussion.
Right. It's so cool. So it's so cool to see this show with this very specific spin on it. And the cast is insane. It's 4 people, I think, and the cast is insane. Wow. It's insane. It's so good. I guess 5 if you include the plant, because the plant, Huabun, is very important to the whole story. But, oh, man, it's so cool. You got to see it.
It's a really cool like Broadway turnaround story too, because it was not doing good there for a minute.
Really?
They were talking about closing it, but then it caught on.
Yeah, and for a good reason. It's a very simple show, and I imagine it's not that expensive to, but people have seen it like 13, 14, 15, like people are seeing it like, but you can get $40 tickets to it. So it's kind of like, it's this interesting story that no other theaters are doing. Like no one's doing this.
So Darren Criss is the robot? Is that what I'm
Darren
reading?
Criss and
Darren
Helen
Criss,
J. Shen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Who
So you get those
is
fans
dating
in there.
Andrew Barth Feldman? Isn't dating Andrew Barth Feldman? I'm not sure. They were dating. I don't know. I'm not in on the scene. So it really, I couldn't believe how talented the cast was. I cried aggressively. Like it wasn't even like a quiet cry. It was like an but everyone was. It was wild. Everyone was. Yeah, it's a really brutal show about like loss and like loss and loss upon loss. It's just wild. It's just wild. It's wild. But beautiful. Great music. And like a cool show that came from Korea was so popular, it just kept getting remounted. And then they translated it into Japanese and then into Chinese and just kept getting remounted in different cities because the demand was so huge. And then they finally translated it and brought it to America. So definitely check it out.
Yeah, for sure. Juliana went and saw Sunset Boulevard, which I was very jealous about.
Oh, really? Did she like it?
Oh, she loved it. We were going to try to get tickets, but through the roof. The weekend that we were going to go see it.
Tickets like lately are everything's through the roof. Even stuff on tour. And speaking of stuff on tour, Disney's back on tour, baby. Beauty and the Beast is going back on tour. Can I get some Brendon hot takes on Beauty and the Beast on tour?
Sounds fun.
My pal Fergie is the Beast in this tour. Incredible puppeteer.
I think I went to his. Did he have a panel at Broadway Con?
He did have a panel at Broadway Con.
I was there.
Yeah. Yep. Incredibly talented dude. Oh my gosh, just overflowing with talent. So they got a good one there. I think it's really cool. But I wanted to chat about Disney's new Broadway business model. If you don't mind.
I'm excited.
Because they've kind of changed the game a little bit with like how they make shows and like why they make new shows, and that it's not about the Broadway revenue.
Yeah.
And it's way more about writing musical books for high schools and like community theaters to license. And that whole game, I think, was laid bare most recently with Hercules, this production that Disney co-sponsored with the Paper Mill Playhouse that I went and saw. I saw the opening performance of it. It was a very interesting show, a good show. I didn't have any problems with it, but everyone was talking about it going to transferring. It was, is it going to go to Broadway? It didn't. Its purpose was not to go to Broadway. Its purpose was to establish a book for licensing exclusively. And if you've seen it now turn around where like Germany just licensed it and did it, now schools are, and so it's interesting. Is it just Disney that's doing this, or other production companies thinking that way too?
Well, I don't know necessarily about like other companies if that's like their go-to business model, but I know that a lot of places it's impossible to really recoup on Broadway unless you have a mega hit. But
absolutely,
the best way to make up that money is licensing it out. And it's really cool because, we just did that documentary on Ride the Cyclone, which was this super niche show about 6 kids who die in a roller coaster accident, and then they sing for the chance to come back to life. Which it's a comedy. It's a dark comedy, but that one it still hasn't made it to Broadway. But it's like I'm pretty sure it's recouped and it's making more money than it's ever made because it's getting licensed by schools, by community theaters, by regional theaters. So it's a really great business model.
Yeah, it is a pretty good business model. It's a good little side hustle if you can get it go. Oh, I mean, it's a great side hustle for Disney, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Is the reason behind this has the internet just made it where you don't need to make a splash in a massive urban environment so someone in Utah or wherever knows the music? I mean, now it's like It's
Well,
online.
it's just so expensive to mount a Broadway show anymore. Like with
It
the
really
rent
is.
prices, with like the cost of the running costs, everything. It's just really expensive to do it. Not even thinking about that? You also, if you're gonna try to bring it to Broadway, you're probably doing it out of town first in Boston or DC. So there's another expense. So it's
not
like, why not
DC
just
anymore.
do the material? Yeah, not DC anymore.
No. R.I.P. the Kennedy Center, where I saw Spam a lot that transferred.
They're only doing non-woke shows like Cats now.
Yeah, Cats.
the most non-woke show I've ever heard.
Rent. Let's do Rent. Not to bring it back to Rent, but let's bring it back to Rent. Yeah, I'm very fascinated by this, and I've always been curious about, there has to be like a modern discussion, like Disney when they did Frozen, when they created the Frozen musical, and it really only lasted for about a year. There had to have been a discussion in that production to be like, oh no, we're taking a very specific approach so that this can be licensed. Because I remember that there was an original director that had like a big vision for it. Like
It was
Julie
Alex
Taymor.
Timbers. It was
Oh, really?
Alex Timbers, yeah, the director of Beetlejuice.
Right, who had a
And,
really
like, Moulin
big
Rouge.
vision, huge vision for it, and Disney was like, nah, we're gonna go Ant-Man, we're gonna get rid of the guy with the vision and get somebody who's just gonna do what we tell them, and that's what it's just what it felt like, is like, because my daughter just did Frozen Junior at middle school, her first musical ever, God bless her, I love her. I volunteer for the concession stand for all the performances.
Dan, I did want to know, we discussed this on a previous episode. You were told no costumes, if I remember correctly, by your daughter.
No costumes. Yeah, no costumes.
Were you able to keep to the deal?
I
were
did.
Able to wear, you wore a hat, right? Was there something you were allowed to wear?
I did. I wore a hat, and I was able to wear a hat, and that was good.
I wanted you to show up in this full
I wore like a snowman hat, and like it looked like Olaf, but it was like a snow cone, and that was about as far as I could go, because I had to show up as Dad. I couldn't be Disney Dan. But like this one kid who played a troll in the show, he was a big fan, my daughter said, and I learned this after the fact, but he would always be out in the hallway before the finale, and I would always fist bump him as I was putting away the cooler, and I didn't realize that he was fist bumping me because he was like, respect, you got the silver play button, you know what I mean? It's like,
Dude, you're like a legitimate celebrity to that kid.
Yeah, that's something that he's going to talk about for the rest of his life.
Yeah, truly. He's going to talk about that forever, and I'm going to talk about it forever. The fist bump was so epic. But the show, it was a Frozen Junior show for middle schools and elementary schools, but it included songs from the Broadway musical that they did. So it's so clear to me that that's like the new way to churn things, right? It's a new way to make things happen.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you go back to late 60s, early 70s, when Andrew Lloyd Webber and Tim Rice were making their musicals, I mean, they knew how expensive it was to stage a Broadway show even back then. So they opted, let's just do a cast recording and see how that does. Because it's a lot cheaper to do it. And then if people really dig it, then we can bring it to Broadway. But I do want to know, I'm curious about because there's a Freaky Friday musical. And I'm really curious to know what that's like.
Is there where?
I don't know. I just know that they're like licensing it.
I don't know what theater it's transferred its consciousness to.
When the
Disney Channel
theaters
reboot
like when the theaters
musical?
I don't think so. It was like when the theaters reopened, at the New Amsterdam Theater, they had this big like Broadway's back with Disney, and they just it was kind of like a cabaret of all their different shows. And they said, this next one's from Freaky Friday. And I went, it's from what?
I'm gonna have to see if some high school's doing it somewhere,
Okay,
so I can go
here you go.
check it out.
Freaky Friday, 2018. They did this is the, I only know this because they would do Disney on Broadway at Epcot, and a couple times there was one of the ladies that who played the mom, I can't remember her name, apologies, she was in the 2018 Disney Channel version of it, which is musical, and she sang something from it. And it's based on
well, then that's what it is. It's a musical movie.
Well, yes, and it's based on a 2016 musical.
See, here's my question: is where is my Herbie musical?
Oh, yeah.
Herbie
Where
the
is
Love
my
Bug?
Bug it all over.
Where is my Love Bug musical?
It was the 1972 Disney on Parade. There was a whole Herbie segment. Herbie and Goofy got into a fist fight, and I'm not joking. Like literally,
Herbie wins.
Herbie wins every time. Yeah, he eats Goofy.
Herbie committed vehicular homicide and then tried to jump off a bridge. Like you can't mess with Herbie.
He's a bad bitch.
Yeah. It's Herbie and then Caitlyn Jenner. You know, the two that you just don't want to trust in a car.
Put them together. Ooh.
Hit the green button. Hit the green button.
Hit the green button, Dan.
Yeah, and that car from Knight Rider. The three of them together. Woo! I guess it's Knight Rider. That's the car. The car is Knight Rider.
Hit the green button right
Dan.
now.
You need to
Hit the green button.
I don't know where it is. Oh, this green button.
Yeah, there you go.
I thought you meant the button that Rob gave me.
Oh, no. Another green. Oh, yeah, the other green button. I forgot you had two green buttons.
I do have two green buttons.
So the musical, the 2016 Freaky Friday musical, debuted at the Signature Theater in Arlington, Virginia.
There you go.
So there you
We're
go.
gonna have to our first collab, Brendon, is a deep dive on the Freaky Friday musical.
It passes the 3-year rule, so
There you
It
go.
certainly does.
There you go.
I'm
There we
ready.
go. All right. I would like to introduce to you my
God.
patented
Oh God.
Broadway technique that I have been living by since approximately 2006.
Since you performed Anthem.
Since I performed Anthem, yeah, approximately. It is my cold Broadway theory. Blue button.
And that works. That works. This is the first episode
Now
you're
I'm
ever going to re-listen
scared.
to.
All right. Here's essentially my cold Broadway theory. Is that you should not, as an enjoyer of art and theater, you should not consume any content based on a show until you have seen that show. And that includes the classics that have come before you. Don't consume or learn anything about the show outside of pop culture references until you see the production. And that includes Broadway, a tour, a high school production. I do not care. Community theater.
Movie musical?
Yeah, movie musical counts too. Movie musical counts too. Otherwise, do not consume, or you will ruin the production for yourself. Because many musicals, as they're structured, have all of their puns and jokes, story developments and turns in their music. It's a musical. That's what they're doing. All right? Like, all of the good stuff, they save for the parts where they're singing. So, if you have an intimate knowledge of that, it's all going to be ruined for you. And I am one to support spoilers, by and large. I like a spoiler. I think a spoiler is fine. And that's, if you want to spoil yourself on the story, go ahead. That's fine. If you want to know where everything's going, I get it. Things are confusing. Rent's real weird. The first time I saw Rent, Drew Lachey was on stage playing Mark. Is it Nick Lachey? No, Nick is the hot one. Drew is the spare.
the Mark.
Drew Lachey. Yeah, Drew Lachey is he was I saw Drew Lachey 3 times. And that one woman from American
89
Idol.
degrees.
Yeah, 98 Degrees and Rising. And that one woman from American Idol who got kicked off because her boobs were online. You know, this big, that heavier black woman. Do you remember, Nathan? And she played
Fantasia?
that. No, not Fantasia, you racist.
I didn't watch American Idol. I only know like 5 people from American Idol.
Jesus. Anyway, so just do not listen to any content. Do not take in any content about a musical until you've seen the musical, because otherwise it's ruined. Avenue Q, I was obsessed with Avenue Q. And the entire show is in the music. And if you know the music intimately and then you go to see the show, not to say it's ruined, but like all of the punchiness is taken out of it because you know every joke, you know? And there is something kind of and like it's crazy. Even Wicked, In the Heights, Hamilton, I remember I refused to consume Hamilton other than like the stuff that he performed for Obama. You know, if Obama heard it, I could hear it. But, you know, the White House, stuff like that, you know, but like, or the Tonys. but I didn't consume anything else because I didn't. And like when I saw Hamilton I got punched in the face. It was wild. It was incredible. You know.
I thought you literally got punched in the face. I was like, what's that story?
Dick Cheney punched him in the face.
He punched me right in the face. He said,
was also there.
He said, "Duck," and he saw ducks. It's fine. He didn't have a shotgun. He just started punching.
I just know that he likes Hamilton, and that's very weird to me.
How do you feel about
likes anything?
How do you feel, Brendon, about my cold Broadway theory?
No, it makes complete sense. I've got my friend Mark, he's got a YouTube channel, Broadway by Ghostlight. He goes by that same philosophy of he will completely stay away from anything before he's seen the show. Me,
yeah.
I'm like hit or miss. Usually it's like I avoid it, but it's not like I'm actively trying to avoid it. I just don't know anything going into the show.
Right.
But what it makes me think about is that when Diana came out, and they did the pro shot first before the show actually opened on Broadway. And that one clip of "This is how your people dance" with Diana standing on a table, just grinding on a cello, like in a way that would make cello players scream, and then like doing this awkward dancing with Charles. It actually made me like more interested in seeing the show. But that was all that I consumed. I didn't watch the pro shot before I went and I saw the show. And I will agree that it did make it that much better just because I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Yeah.
May I say, you elitist liberals and your desire to tell the poor they have no right to musicals unless they can pay for a ticket. That's all I hear.
Sir, I'd just like to say that in my
Do
original
bootlegs
theory.
count?
Yeah,
Bootlegs
absolutely.
count.
Absolutely.
So you can be like
Bootlegs
exposed by
count.
bootlegs.
If bootlegs count, then I'm on board.
That's ultimately how I saw Book of Mormon, because I got so antsy because I really wanted to listen to it. Mm-hmm. And eventually I caved and just watched the slime because I was like, I'm not going to, I want to really get the jokes. It's a theater piece.
Yeah.
Like it's a visual medium, I really want to get the jokes. So,
it's the way that I finally saw American Psycho, because I had my tickets to go see that, but then it closed like the day before I was supposed to get into New York City, which was just killed me.
Brutal.
Yeah. I'll never forget.
May I ask, as someone who thoroughly enjoys musicals, I played Harold Hill, so like, come on, I get it, but I wouldn't say I like catch every little bit. How important is slime culture to the everyday musical / Broadway fanatic? Is it like the dirty little secret?
I don't believe it's a dirty little secret anymore. It was, but it's become very mainstream, and it feels like a very hot topic.
Slime culture is just bootlegs. That's all it means.
Yeah,
recording.
yeah. What is there a common, like, I feel like it's like political. It's like 50-50. It's like either you are pro slime or anti slime.
Yeah. It's like, the way I see it is it's like, I don't know. It's like if the show's open, I have a little bit of a problem with there being a slime tutorial about it. But then also, I don't, because it's accessibility and it exposes new people to see the show. It's like when Dua Lipa releases an album, I'm not going to be more likely to say, oh, well, I'm not going to go see the concert now because I heard the album. It's like I'm still want to go and experience it live.
Well, but that's the counterpoint, though, that you would hear from old media is that, well, we released the album. You can listen to the album, and then you can come buy a ticket to see it live. Like that. That's the counterpoint there. I strongly believe, and I think it is a fool's errand, that old Broadway media does not. And we have people, like Catherine Quinn from It's Showtime.biz, right? Is that Catherine? I've got to get her on the podcast. Like, people like her continuing to invade into the media like that is good. Yeah, because she helped you. You guys did the Gatsby thing together, right?
Yep, we did.
Like, voices like that, because what Hamilton did on Disney Plus to the longevity of Hamilton cannot be understated. Like,
it's hard though, because it's a double-edged sword, because yes, it really worked with Hamilton, but then you could also say that it probably killed Dear Evan Hansen.
Did we get a pro shot of Dear Evan Hansen, or we got the movie?
Well,
the movie. Well, Brendon, what are you, a lunatic bringing up a Mark Platt production, a nepotism Mark Platt production? Are you also going to talk to me?
His 80-year-old son wanted to
also
get back and play his main character again.
Are you also going to talk to me about how the spare Platt was a great Fiero? Because I don't want to hear it, Brendon. The Platt family is unhinged. They're detached. They're like Kim Irvine. What do you mean people are paying attention to the small details at Disneyland? It's like these people have lost touch with reality, and like Rachel Zegler didn't ruin Snow White. Platt. Oh my gosh, the Platts. Yeah.
I'm sorry that touched a chord.
Well, just for you to be like, what a double-edged sword. Let's compare this iconic piece of Broadway history and record keeping of a Hamilton Pro Shot with a 37-year-old man greasing it up like he's Danny Zuko, acting like he's 17. You know what I mean? And he's very close. He has an IRA. You know what I mean? He's contributing to an IRA, yearly. He has an accountant. You know what I mean? And he's playing a 17-year-old white. I mean, anyway, Mark Platt, please cast me in something. I'm available, baby. Yeah, so Brendon, what a double-edged sword. What a double-edged sword.
Would you like to call me Brendy Hendy?
Yeah, I'm going to have to. I'm going to have to go. Well, that leads me into, I'm curious, you don't really participate in this, so I'm interested to get your hot take. Where do you stand on like the Broadway tea chasing scene, like on social media, because we've got there's a few of them. I like the guy who was always wearing the Sorcerer Mickey hat. I can't remember his name off the top of my head. He's great. I like Brian, the business analyst. I love Sweaty. I don't care what anyone says. I love Sweaty. I love Brian. They can all hate each other. I don't care. I love all the drag queens that hate each other. Their hate doesn't affect my love, So, where are you on the Broadway tea scene?
It's a great question. And because I got asked the same question at BroadwayCon a couple weeks ago, and the way I see it is that what they're doing right now is going to be so important to what we're doing down the road.
Tell me about it.
Because they're archiving this stuff as it's happening, and they're getting like the nitty gritty that I could never get at this point. Right,
and very few people are going to write a tell-all about the production of The Outsiders. You know what I mean? It's not going to end up in a book like Disney Wars, where we found out what happened in the Renaissance or whatever. It's not. We're not going to find this stuff out. You know what I mean?
Right.
So to get the tea spilled is, I think, a valuable thing, and it's wild to me. No one gets mad at TMZ when they report that Disney's canceling a movie, people get mad at Disney, and it's so interesting that Sweaty or Brian's really great. And I saw Brian get into an argument with the person who did the lady musical, the ladies can vote, the musical. What's it called?
Suffs.
Yeah, Suffs. Yeah. He got into a Twitter argument with the producer of Suffs, because Brian's I really want to do a deep dive into the short-term failures of this musical. And she's like, yeah, I can't wait for someone to dissect all my failures. It's yeah, you should welcome someone to dissect, because no one else is pointing them out to you, apparently. And you could learn and grow from it. It's not the tea chasers are not doing a disservice to the community,
It's the main thing of just listen to the tea, but also take it with a grain of salt.
Right.
It's be able to run it through, because then you get
sure.
the situation what we had with Leah Michelle, where it was just everybody was saying things of what was it? It was Beanie Feldstein's dad was a producer, which then I just did some basic digging and I found that wasn't the case. It's just flip through the playbill. There's no one there.
Yeah.
And
well,
so
I'm at the point
just
now, Brendon, where people tweet photos of tweet screenshots, and I don't even think any of those are real anymore. Because I go sometimes to look and I can't find anyone ever tweeting half the stuff I see screenshots of. So, maybe we should all get off the internet is what I'm saying.
I saw a video of a cat the other day that looked like it had its hair twirled like a doll, and I thought it was real. I was that's AI.
Wait, walk me back through
that. It just looked like it was like a cat that looked like, those the Broadway,
cats?
like the yarn dolls.
Oh, cats.
Like an actual cat.
Actual
cat that looked like yarn. And I was like, how did they make the cat look like that? That's a great salon.
How did they make the cat look like that?
It was AI.
A new musical coming soon.
It'll be closed in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I'm actually, Brendon, I'm writing a musical. A brilliant musical. And I'm going to tell you off camera because no one can steal it. People
It's
can
how
take
did
our
the-
other ideas. We've
How
got
did the cat? How did the cat get like that?
How did the cat get like that?
Blame Mark Platt.
blame Mark Platt. There we go. Yeah. So I want your hot takes to make sure my musical doesn't fail. But speaking of cats, I have a clip. I brought 2 TikTok clips, and I have a good one for you that I want to show you to get your reaction on it. I watched this, and we're probably going to watch it several times because it brings me a great deal of joy. The dog related one.
Okay, you said speaking of cats, I got very confused.
Cats and dogs, baby. Cat dog. We all watched it on Nickelodeon.
We all
you know,
watched Cat Dog.
How'd that
Yeah,
thing
yeah,
poop?
yeah.
No one knows.
Okay.
It's a cock and a walk, baby.
1 second, let me bring it up. Sorry, I got so excited about Cat Dog, I forgot where all my stuff was.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go.
I'm terrified, but
Here you go.
intrigued.
You're gonna love it. You're gonna love it.
Is this like a try not to laugh challenge? Oh, I've seen this.
There he goes. There he goes.
Oh
Yeah.
Stage dived, and no one was
it
there.
again.
No one was there.
man,
For those
come
listening at
on.
home, this is a clip of a local production of Wizard of Oz where they have cast a apparently blind dog to play Toto, who goes
A white? I don't know.
straight off the edge of the stage.
It's like
Pit
Looney
dives.
Tunes, where it's like the dog just its feet keep walking and it's in midair, and then it just drops.
Yeah, it does
He really
not.
does
It doesn't.
coyote it
Yeah, he
right
does.
off.
He does coyote. Yeah, Acme
keeps going.
and all.
He does hold up that sign that says help right before he falls,
man.
too.
It's like a wind-up dog toy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it has absolutely no sense. It's like a rogue
Where is
Roomba.
it going? I don't know where that dog. Like, what is its end game? Where are you trying to go?
Sweet death. Apparently, it was just
I
wanted
like
to.
the orchestra doesn't turn around. They're like, nah.
You
I
know,
don't
this is
have
a really good visual representation of Spider-Man Turn Off the Dark.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, there
This
you
is
go.
actually from previews.
Well,
It's a
and
scene
when
they
you're
cut.
Dorothy, what do? Do you go and get the dog? Do you just let the
Click your
dog
heels, it'll
go?
all be fine.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this is clearly she's not wearing. This is Act 1, so there's we don't have magic on our.
Well, yeah,
hands
the
here.
house hasn't
Oh,
fell in
man.
some way. Wow, it's so
Yeah.
incredible. Apparently, in the comments, the poster said that the dog was fine. It appeared later
That's
in
good.
the show.
Took it like
wouldn't-
a champ.
I wouldn't bring you any video clips of harm to animals, so just sleep well. Now, speaking of a stage dive, I have another clip I want to show you, and I want to get your hot takes on.
Speaking of the Great Gatsby, which we were talking about
yeah,
earlier.
speaking of the
no.
Gatsby and the stage
Oh
dive.
man.
So, Brendan, can you
Okay,
explain to
this
me?
one's art. This one's art. Okay, keep going.
Can you explain to me why this broke the internet for a couple of days? The ending of the Great Gatsby musical seemed to have impacted humans in a way that I haven't witnessed theater do in a minute. In that, he takes 2 bullets, falls
Right.
forward. We all saw the Kennedy assassination. That's not how gravity works. We all know that the bullet
Back into the left.
Yeah, back into the left. So.
Thanks, Kevin Costner.
So the humor there is also, but the stage dive right into the pit, and you hear the pool splash, like they have the sound effect to make sure. You've seen this Gatsby, right?
I was here when they were staging this.
Were you?
I was in the room. I have footage.
Amazing. Did you ever think that they would have an inkling that this would wreck people's minds and cause them
No.
to like awkward laugh in
No.
like a really uncomfortable way for the actor on stage
Well,
who's playing
here's
it?
the thing. It's like it depends on the actor that you're showing, because this is a scene that can either like really make people scream, or it can be like, what the hell just happened?
Right. Spoiler alert. A farmer, I believe, comes to the Gatsby.
He's a mechanic, but that's okay.
Yeah, whatever. A simple man. A simple man. You know what I mean.
Simple man.
A character
A farmer in New York
character
City.
from Shucked migrates over to Gatsby and believes that Gatsby is sleeping with this lady, but he's not.
Yeah.
It's another guy who has PTSD.
Literally the only person he's not sleeping with.
Right.
He's so
Right.
great.
And so he gets a bullet and takes a dip in the pool. And people, for those listening at home and unaware, the stage dive of it all really hits people the wrong way, at least of late. Because, and I don't think that people have like discussed this enough, but there's an oddness about the Jeremy Jordan fan group that like subdued You know what I mean? Like his death. Like it was all very empathetic. Everyone's like, not Jeremy. Don't kill Jeremy, you know? But then when he left, everyone's like, who's that guy? Him getting shot. What's going on? This choreography is strange. And now he's dipping in a pool.
Well, it depends on the person doing the dive, because who's the new guy that they brought in? Ryan.
Yeah, something. Yeah, Reeve Carney.
I don't know. I don't really know what's going on, but I just remember that like I think Ryan posted something that he was upset that people were laughing. Okay.
Ryan McCartan, yeah.
They were upset that people were laughing at his Gatsby during the death scene, that people were like audibly laughing, but then somebody showed it and it's like it's so slow and like just awkward that like you know, I get it.
Right,
I get it.
Right. And when you subvert expectations, that's all. That's what comedy is. I just want to say, and so no one expects anyone. No one expects this. It really does subvert expectations.
But it's hard because it's so what the team was going for is they wanted to make the musical a musical comedy until it wasn't. So this is the part where the comedy's supposed to end, kind of.
Right, but it does
a hard ask. That's a hard ask.
It's a hard ask for an audience.
Because it's like you've trained the audience to laugh at things the whole way through.
Right, Imagineering. So it's interesting how you do that. You train the audience to observe things in a very specific way, and then you put AI art in your merchandise shops.
Dan, you're really feeling it today about...
Well, I'm just saying, it's interesting how old media operates. It's the same everywhere.
Well,
it's the same
really
everywhere. It's incredible. It's
hey,
groundbreaking.
Dan, I agree. We should kill old people. I get it. I understand.
The Purge, the elderly Purge.
I didn't say it. Brendon didn't say it. You said it. But
Brendon can't say it. He's Canadian. He doesn't understand.
No.
He's been down here long enough. He knows.
I love my grandma.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, she's
not
safe
our
from
grandma.
She's safe
really
from
nice.
Europe. You can spend your geriatric
safe
purge
from my
protecting.
purge.
Yeah, you can spend your time protecting grandma for your geriatric purge. Other grandmas might be at risk. I don't know. Got to protect your grandma.
Oh,
we'll see where it goes. We'll see
Save
where
her
it goes.
from the farmers. The farmers wandering in.
Yeah, it's the same. It's all the same. No one cares.
I will say that that Gatsby scene would work a lot better if there was just a little splash of water that came up cartoon style after he fell in.
I loved it because when they were blocking it, they were doing the ensemble dance that comes after. Because that's the thing, is like after he dies, then the ensemble comes on and starts singing like a pretty upbeat song with awful, like horrible undertones. But I loved it because when they were staging that, and I've got a clip of it that I uploaded to TikTok because of how this thing was taking off. And it's the stage manager reading the cues. And so you just hear gunshot, gunshot, splash, gunshot. And then they start dancing.
That might have worked
So that's
better.
just what I thought. Every time I saw them doing that scene was gunshot, gunshot, splash, gunshot.
I have to say that I believe Ryan was seriously confused at first, but I think that people overplayed his. I think he got in on the joke and was kind of like, lack for a better word, shit posting about it. Eventually, I don't think that he is actually that uptight.
It's the only way you can do it,
right? I don't think that he's actually that bothered by it. I think that it's just so funny. I love when little nuances like that capture the audience for just a moment. You know what I mean? We all get caught up in one dumb little thing, and it's kind of fun.
It's like, I want them to show, because spoiler, like Myrtle, the Tom's lover, when she dies, I want
not really
people
a
to start
spoiler.
talking about like that death scene.
The book is like 100 years old.
Well, Dan said he didn't like spoilers for his his theory.
Right,
that's true.
Right. Are you going to see the Ingrid Michaelson? Is that who's doing the other Gatsby?
The Florence
and the Machine. Yeah, whoever it is. I don't know.
The Ingrid Michaelson. I'm actually going to see the Sarah Bareilles one.
Great. Perfect.
Not going to write you.
Can we talk about
bam, bam, bam?
Can I just talk about for just a moment the D+ I want to give the pro shot of Waitress. What a despicable pro shot. The opening sequence did not need without exaggeration, 124 jump cuts. Like, we did not, like, the idea of theater is long, breathy shots because I am sitting in the audience with my own two goobers, you know, like checking things out. I want to choose where my eyes land.
Would you say that it made you not want to go see the musical now?
Absolutely. It was very poorly done.
There it is. So the Dear Evan Hansen comes around, double-edged sword.
Double-edged sword.
That musical was closed and it was only remounted to shoot that pro shot. So it was this weird, it's this weird like exception to the rule. Like, you can't count that. I would much rather talk about how like Gerard Butler's Phantom helped like boost the ticket sales of Phantom, or how, you know, well, Cats was dead.
I'm forever an apologist of Gerard Butler's Phantom.
Yeah, it was good. It was good.
I loved it.
It was good. I liked it. I don't have a problem with it.
I like you call it Gerard Butler's Phantom and not Baz Luhrmann's Phantom.
It wasn't Baz Luhrmann who did that.
It was Joel Schumacher.
Schumacher.
Yeah.
You're right. It was a little more. It was a little more than it was.
Okay, so with the new season of with the new season of Winging It, Winging It with Brendy. Are we gonna do a Times Square, a Disney cleanup of Times Square? Because I'm hyper fixated on it right now. I just did a great history.
You saying that I'd love to talk about it.
Let's do it.
There's also I don't know really how if Disney had a say in it really, but there's a video that I've been trying to get done that's just a really big topic. It's the building of the Marriott Marquis in Times Square. Which it took out, I think it took out 5 or 6 theaters.
Really?
And it led this huge social movement to turn all the theaters on Broadway into national landmarks so that they could stop tearing down the theaters. Because if they hadn't done that, then all the theaters might have been gone.
So you're not sure how much Disney had a hand in it versus like investment guys just investing.
It's like I don't know
because it's not a Disney theater. It's not a Disney house. Is it a...
it's like the Disneyfication of Times Square. I don't know what role that played in it because it was around the same time. I'm pretty sure it might have been a couple years before, but
it's been there. That's where I saw Drowsy Chaperone.
Yeah,
it's been there
I've
for a minute.
wanted to do the Disneyfication of Broadway forever. So
yeah, we really should look at it. I would really love to do that. I'm fascinated by it, and I'm fascinated by. Well, I just did a nice long video about Snow White at Radio City Music Hall and its connection to theme parks, and I had this really great, absolutely amazing. If you haven't seen the Snow White live at Radio City Music Hall Pro Shot, it's quite the show. And what's so fascinating to me about it is that how completely devoid of like camp and like tongue-in-cheek humor it has. It is just pure fantasy. Like, it is just spoon-feeding you sugar like for 90 minutes. There is just all sweetness, you know? It's like all like, it's wild. It's not just new, like even Aladdin, you know, everything's got like a wink, wink, nod, nod these days. And it's, you know, the 70s. What a time.
I do have to bring up, there were some people in our Discord who were saying that you called Radio City a Broadway theater.
I know. Everyone freaking chill, all right? The absolute... Let me just say this. Let me just put this on record. You can clip it and you can tell your Discord fans. The absolute privilege that you have to know that a musical mounted at Radio City is not technically on Broadway. Just sit with that for a second. Because let me tell you something. No one gives a shit. No one remotely gives a shit outside of the tri-state area if Radio City qualifies as Broadway or not. Please think for a moment as a creator trying to speak to a general audience that understands only subtle nuances about a large city. I didn't even choose to put Radio City Music Hall in the title of the video because I don't even believe that most of America knows what that is, and it's across the street from SNL, you know, and regularly in its intros, you know, like several times, you know, so like just sit for a moment, dwell, if you will, on the idea of storytelling. Christ.
Thank
By
you.
the
I'll
way,
relay the message.
if you have interest in seeing the Snow White live on stage, it is fully online on YouTube for anyone who's asking. So
there's this weird blind spot that I get lucky that you get screwed by all the time, in that Disney has so many of these things from their sing-alongs to their TV specials to their, pro shots of stuff from the 70s. They just can't possibly pay somebody to care. Like, I mean, that's the bottom line, is to chase all the rights and the license. That's why you'll never see any of this crap on Disney Plus, because the licensing rights for it all, are you kidding me? Cross-eyed. And Disney kind of understands those kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge about like things like YouTube and the Internet Archive and stuff, because otherwise they'd be gone. Like, they get kind of like lost into the ether, and they certainly would not be available. So, but you get screwed by that. You can't put like any music in yours, or you'll get demonetized like immediately.
I mean, I did it before. I did it with the Phantom. I did a video comparing Phantom of the Opera and Grisabella, which that was pretty early on, and I actually used clips from that. It got hit by Universal, but they actually released it. So it's nice. Fine. But it's just kind of the thing of like, I don't want to risk it.
The roll of the dice, because you get one wrong takedown, and it like can cripple your channel for like a year.
Exactly.
It happened to me last year. My channel's still recovering.
Well, it's like I did a review of Grease Live on Fox, and that
instant
one it was
takedown.
Just, yeah. Well, no, not instant takedown. It got like a lot of views, but then it was just cut off.
Oh yeah, when it got claimed,
like blocked in all country.
Yeah, it's so wild. It's so crazy.
Well, they'd like us to forget about it, I think.
I don't know why. I had a great time with it. Okay. It wasn't even like a bad review.
Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that all of those aren't available on like Peacock and like, and like whatever streaming services are available.
Hala.
Yeah.
Hala.
Hulu.
Or Peacock.
Hulu. Yeah.
I will say I have to stand up for, I think, this interesting like middle ground, which I enjoy, which is like National Theater at Home and these other really like thought out services that can provide
like
live
HD,
theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's all great.
There actually is some good stuff on there, isn't there? There really is. And I really hope Broadway media comes to embrace more the pro shot. Really, but for the
it's
love
even
of
just like
God,
even just releasing promo clips, like that goes such a long way.
Yeah, because we don't have we don't have Rosie O'Donnell show anymore, to put performances on. We're barely watching The View.
Very deep cut. Yeah.
Well, Rosie really helped the Broadway scene there, man.
Oh, absolutely.
Two things took a hit from Rosie going away: Broadway and
Kush.
Yeah,
Kush.
I think Kush too.
I don't know.
Service? I think Kush jazz cigarette.
I think Kush is more a Louis Armstrong thing. Kush is the rubbery balls of Roseanne. Not Roseanne. They were definitely rubbery.
Yeah, let's not call them the rubbery
hairy
balls
rubbery balls of Rosie O'Donnell that she threw in everyone's face.
This is a bad podcast. This is a bad thing.
This is a sequel to Tammy Faye.
Yeah. What's the next, Brendon? What's the next thing for us to wait in the wings for about a video on?
Documentary on Chess the Musical. That's the big one that's in the works. It has been an absolute beast to put together.
Now, will you film the episode dressed like a chess piece? I'm telling you, the audience loves it.
Just as the bishop.
Or at least dressed like a king. Yeah, or bishop, like the Pope. Or like each chapter gets that you dress like a knight, a bishop, a king, a pawn,
That's cool. And it's like the progression of the show as you're going around. So you start as a pawn,
right?
And then you end as a king, and then you resign.
I like the gimmick. I like the gimmick.
Dan, not everyone's got a Halloween costume factory in their back pocket that they can
listen to me. Don't start with me. At the very least, Brendon.
Is this an ad read? Are we going into an ad read?
You need to have a chessboard on the table that has a game that progresses move by move throughout the episode, and then ends, or like at the climax of your video, like there's the checkmate or whatever.
Is this why it takes you so long to finish videos, Dan? As you're doing you're working on this kind of intricacy?
Because I'm autistic. Yes.
Okay.
How interesting you picked up on that.
I will say
my neurodivergence.
We do have some very exciting visual elements that we're going to be playing around with.
Wow. It's all going to be in black and white. I get it. That's cool. I picked it up.
Yeah, black and white.
Picked up on it. Well, we've reached the episode, the part of the episode where we talk about the fun stuff we're doing for fun and having fun with. We call it Fun and Tell. That was not a break for a theme song. We don't have one. That was just an awkward pause that we're gonna leave in. We have to leave it in. I've talked about it now. We got to leave it in.
Yeah, this certainly isn't a second recording for the day for us. No, not whatsoever.
What are you talking about?
Great.
I changed my shirt and hat to keep the illusion
Not me,
going.
brother. Not me. This is
Yeah,
I changed
well,
my
industry.
shirt for this.
You're the podcast producer. You're expected to just wear a black shirt and a black hat. No one's looking. No one cares about what Matt Gorley's wearing on the
is
Conan
teal.
podcast.
This is teal.
Teal.
Thank you.
Well, I'm clearly colorblind, so
That's part of the autism.
we just learned that. Well, let me just say, for my fun, has been investigating Bell Labs in Central Jersey, because Nathan and I are planning a pilgrimage to the filming location of
Lumen.
Severance. Yep, we're gonna go visit Lumen.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna dress like a goat. It's gonna be wild. It's gonna be great.
You're
Nathan's
kicked
just
out.
gonna dress like Mark S. Get kicked
Yeah.
out? No, they're gonna welcome
make-
me in. They're gonna start
Yeah.
to worship me.
We are going to. We need to make our lanyards, so we have official Lumen security badges and stuff. We gotta
Does
work on
a
it.
goat wear a lanyard? I just checked out the Halloween. There's
goat
lots of
could.
goat options. There's lots of good goat options here. We're gonna. Ooh, yeah, we
This
got
is it.
this. It's a Baphomet, which is a devil worship thing, but it's a workaround. We'll get there. We'll
I
get
was
there.
thinking the waffles. Are you bringing waffles?
Oh,
Right, waffles. Can I dress like a waffle? That's
So
a
we
weird
talked about
sex
this-
thing, though, Brendan. I
Yeah,
don't
be
know.
careful. Be careful.
Weird
Don't
sex
don't
An
Google
officially branded Lego. Jesus, Joseph and Mary. And for whatever,
Ouch.
why did they give me Leslie Knope when I searched for waffle? Is
a waffle
that
party.
something?
No, yes. Remember, she does waffles for her Galentine's Day. That's a whole thing.
Oh my God! So what another odd connection between Severance and Parks and Rec? The waffle
That is
party.
weird. That is weird. I haven't put that together till now. That's very fun.
Gotta get a supercut. We gotta get a supercut. So I'm. It's only like about an hour from me, but it's a little over 3 hours for Nathan. So I got to figure
Yeah.
out something else to do to
He's
make it
gotta-
worth the drive.
Yeah, and clearly hanging out with Dan is not going to be enough. So, no, that's spooky. That's
Oh, I didn't know
sounds
blue
like
was
you're going to
spooky.
kill me after we go to Bell Labs.
Should I
but-
try pink? I'll try pink.
Sure, try pink.
Oh,
There you go.
I
Also,
love Snow White at Radio City.
Yeah.
blue is spooky like Lumen.
Here's what we're
remember.
gonna do. Hold on. Here's what we're
Yeah.
gonna do. I want you to pick a button and then play the sound that you can't hear. And then Brendon, I want you to name a musical that vibes with the sound. Okay, so let's
Okay.
go button by button real
Okay.
quick before we continue on.
I'll give
Yeah,
you guys
begin with the first
2
button.
more buttons. This is teal.
Shucked.
Okay,
I'd say that one's shucked.
Okay, all right.
Okay, nice. Works for me. We're gonna go purple.
That's Limpika.
Okay.
That Russian chick.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess that is part of it.
Yeah, you'll
For-
know when you know.
For a little bit, and then it's not.
What are the other ones, Dan? Again, play them for us.
Blue is, you said spooky.
Okay, that's swept away.
Okay, and then let's not play them at the same time.
And that's Tammy Faye.
That's green.
That's Tammy Faye.
And then we had pink.
And that is Death Becomes Her.
Have you seen? Have you seen it?
No. There are all these shows on my list.
Well, can we plan a trip?
I need-
We have.
Yeah,
you have my number. Let's
absolutely.
double date, baby.
Yeah.
Oh
I'm
my
excited.
gosh, our partners would love each other. They might leave us for each other. That's a thing to be worried about. Let's not meet up.
True.
just two straight theater dudes worried their wives will go lesbian on each other. Oh, my fun and tell. That's where
Your
we're
fun
at.
and tell. It's your time.
Two things. I'm actually gonna do two things now that I think about it. Because the one you reminded me of because of Severance, which is I was watching before we got on here a great episode of the George Lucas Talk Show. Now, if you don't know what the George Lucas Talk Show is,
Oh yeah, I saw that they were on that.
yes. So the George Lucas Talk Show is Connor Ratliff and Griffin Newman, and Connor plays George Lucas in makeup and everything, and Griffin Newman dresses up as Watto as his Ed McMahon of the talk show. and they bring on people literally who have worked with George Lucas, and have been in relationships with George Lucas, if I even remember right, like romantic relationships. And they just treat Connor like he's George. Like there's no question. But they had on.
It's a popular trend that comedians are doing these days.
It's really funny.
What
And
character should I do? What character should I embrace? We'll circle back to this. Maybe maybe Winnie the Pooh.
That's easy. Brian Blessed. You're going to play Brian Blessed.
Who's Brian Blessed?
Who's Brian Blessed?
Yeah, finish your story.
Golden Five. Brian Blessed. Look it up. But anyway, what was I saying? Oh, Adam Scott and then Britt Lauer and Zach Cherry from Severance were all on an episode together, and it's very fun, very charming because they enjoy being with each other. So check that out. But that was not my fun and tell. My fun and tell is something that I don't know if I'm going to get to see in theaters like I would like to because I have to travel all the way to DC to probably do it.
Steve Coogan.
But Steve Coogan is currently, actually, it's off London now, and it's going to Dublin for a little bit. But he is playing 4 characters in a Armando Iannucci adaptation of Doctor Strangelove.
Oh, wow.
Which is really, really cool, and it's already been pro-shot for theaters, for National Theater, and then, of course, it'll be on National Theater at home at some point in the near future, I'm sure. But it's pretty rad.
Do I need to watch Doctor Strangelove to get it?
No, I don't think so. The only thing that's unique is in the Kubrick film, Peter Sellers plays 3 characters, and he wanted to play a 4th, but they couldn't work it out timing-wise. And Coogan actually ends up getting to play the 4th character as well in the play. So they do a lot of Coogan talking to himself through like video chats and stuff as part of the
That's
play.
cool.
So it's pretty rad, and he's amazing, and like Steve Coogan's like one of my comedy heroes because of Alan Partridge. So I'm really jazzed for that, and I hope it's so far. It's sounded like it's been pretty fun, so I'm excited to see that.
That's cool.
Which one's the Bond villain?
Say again.
Is this? I always thought Doctor Strangelove was a Bond villain.
No, you're thinking of
Doctor No.
Yeah.
So no, it's not
Doctor Strangelove
Strangelove.
is the one who. That's the Depeche Mode song.
Oh,
yeah, there you
okay.
go. Yeah. Well worth your time. The movie's very funny as well with Peter Sellers.
I'll have to check it out.
It's really, really funny.
And how I learned to stop worrying and love the bomb, right?
That's true, Dr. Strangelove. And How to Stop Worrying and Love the Bomb. Yeah.
Okay, great. I have to. I've never seen it. Called Broadway Theory, so never seen it.
There you go.
Don't know anything about it. Brendon, what are you doing for fun, buddy?
Well, it's so great because you just talked about Doctor Strangelove, which deals with like the Cold War and the nuclear arms race, and so I'm working on Chess the Musical. And it's so embarrassing because I brought my thing to show you, and Dan accidentally guessed what it was.
Did I? Chessboard?
It's the chessboard that we have that we're going to be filming all of the like in between shots with.
Look at that. Look at that.
So-
How fun.
Like,
Amazing.
one of our patrons, his name's William. We did like a fundraiser drive where we had an Amazon wish list of all the props that we wanted to get, and so William purchased this for us.
Well, William, shout out.
So
It's fantastic.
So, Brandon, either you're very good at balancing, or those pieces are magnetic.
Magnets. Yeah.
That's cool.
Wow, how do they work?
So
Magnets.
How do they
I
work?
wish I could tell you. That's outside of my pay rate.
Yeah.
I wish I'm not in the ICP, so I can't figure it out.
No, I just like Fago. That's as far as I
So,
go.
are you going to have a chess? Are you going to have a chess game going throughout the episode?
Yeah, I'm gonna do one of the matches from the Bobby Fischer Boris Spassky match from the 1970s. That was like Soviet Union versus
Right.
America,
Yes.
but on a chessboard.
Now, will
So
you
that'll
also be
what's
wearing a
going on.
vibrating butt plug to receive messages as you record to make sure you really
explain
nail
that to
Dan,
him?
Dan, you can't give away all the secrets for the video.
That happens
I gotta
in
scrap
chess.
the whole thing now.
Just Google
Yeah.
chess vibrating butt plug if you haven't heard. Everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's not a big mystery.
Does
I don't even
everyone
need to Google
know?
it.
The assumption-
Everyone
on our-
knows.
William
Hey,
also bought one of those for us too. So.
Well, good. God
Thanks,
bless.
William. Thanks.
If you're interested in the Bobby Fischer, Boris Spassky
Vibrating butt plug? Oh no.
vibrating butt plug, there is a good
The
movie
Bobby
with Tobey Maguire playing Bobby Fischer called Pawn
On
Sacrifice.
sacrifice. Yeah.
Worth seeing if you haven't. That and the documentary Bobby Fischer versus the World. I kind of love.
Yeah.
I kind of like obsessed with Bobby Fischer because he's this really interesting character. So
Who just went absolutely like mad.
yeah, he lost his mind before. It was cool to do that,
Yeah.
What I'm always interested in with stuff like chess is that it's like computer programming, it's like mathematics, it's like learning a foreign language. The language of a chessboard is like a language to know, and it's I don't know how else to describe it. It is its own language, chess, and you can think in it. You can like really immerse yourself into the idea and the mechanics of it. Like Lego, honestly, Lego is actually very similar in the mechanisms of like how all like it's very mathematically heavy. It's so wild. It's math, chess.
It's like mathematics, strategy, all of it. Because a part of the research I read, I started reading The Queen's Gambit, but as I was reading The Queen's Gambit, I was like, also like, okay, I need to start teaching myself how to play chess. And so it was cool as like we went along as I was reading the book, and soon the words that they were saying that I didn't get at the beginning, by the end, I actually kind of understand what's going on now.
That's awesome.
So I'm a 150 in chess.
Well, what does that mean?
Which it means you're pretty low on like how good you are. That's your score.
I'm currently 63% done with Spider-Man on my PlayStation 5. So if we're just ever throwing numbers
the
out,
same thing.
The first one.
Yeah. And I'll be eating at Geos 82 next time I go to Epcot. It's a number heavy segment. Anything that you can think of with numbers.
Oh Lord.
I had a great time talking to you. The episode's over now, though.
Well, no, it's not. Where can people find you?
People are done listening. Well, I'm getting to there. I'm just saying to
You
people.
just said the episode's over.
So people understand that the episode's over now.
Okay.
Now we're going to do the plugs.
Okay, plug.
Yeah,
Now you're going to do the plugs, and also let's just put.
I didn't
I'm just
consent
gonna.
to the plugs,
I'm gonna
but
do.
okay.
Well, you're doing a thing on chess. I think you did consent.
Vibrating plug.
Also, let's just plant the Inception mind seed here that maybe when you record this episode, you unbutton one or two extra little buttons on the shirt, show a little chest for your chess episode. You know what I mean? Get the ladies going. You know what I mean? And
how are they going to see that through my pawn costume? You're giving me too many.
No. When you're the
that's for the
knight, when you're
Patreon.
like,
That's
when you're
for the
like,
Patreon.
you're a sexy knight with like an exposed chest. You know what I mean? Like Jon Snow. You know nothing, Jon Snow. You know that kind of thing. You know, you can always see his chest. You know, so just get on that. Chest for chest. Hashtag chest for chest.
I apologize for continuing the podcast and making this happen.
Where? Hey, you know what I'm going to steal from you that I like when you do in your videos is like the little slow fade in. You know, like wait in the wings at. You know, and my name's Brendon. You know, like that little like you give yourself a little tag at the top.
The little lower third. Yeah.
That's not lower, sir. That is that's an upper mid third. All right. What the hell are
numbers
you?
around
The
again?
hell are
What are
you
we
talking
doing?
about? Lower third. It's floating
It's on the
somewhere up in the
H-file.
corner. There's nothing lower about it, sir.
I haven't saved in my computer as a lower third. It's supposed to be a lower third, but there's something blocking it. My bookshelf is there.
Do you live in the upside down like 11 with the waffles? What are you doing?
Things are wild in Albany.
Yeah, I guess there's nothing lower about it. So wait in the wings.
He's in previews for the first Shadow. That's why it's all upside down for him. Right now.
Oh yeah, that's opening. Got to see that quick. That's not lasting.
We don't have time to talk about it. The podcast is over. You ended it.
It sure is. And God bless you for keeping us on task. I just Googled, by the way, chess at the Halloween costume store. Only Cheshire cats came up. So you might have to think more creatively with your pawn and you know, bishop and stuff.
I can
costumes.
figure something out.
Yeah, we'll get there. You know, just tape a bowling ball to your head for the pawn. It'll work. Because they have the round tops. All right, well, wait in the wings. You know, go watch it. It's great. I had a good time. You are so serious. I just want to say, you're a serious man when you make these episodes.
Is that a good thing?
It's academic.
I don't know.
I appreciate it.
Just think about how our energies are going to vibe with this Times Square cleanup of porn, with your super seriousness, and I'm Chucko the clown. So I don't know.
Was I super serious in the Audrey 2 doc?
Yeah. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Yeah, you were. But it's not,
keep 'em
it's
up
not
at
a
night
bad
with this.
thing. Listen, let's quantify this though. It's not a bad thing because it's your thing that you take seriously. So that's good. That's good. That's what is engaging about it, is that people want to hear me talk about the things that I take seriously and hyperfixate on. That's the thing. So just continue to do it. But goddamn, you're serious. Like I watch your videos and I'm like, damn, am I just?
Well,
am
Dan,
I just?
He's just
driving
normal.
people crazy.
It's
Normal.
so funny. It's the other way around where I watch your videos and I'm like, wow, am I just like boring?
You're not boring. You're not boring.
Okay.
As someone
this
who
is great.
listens,
This
as
is
someone who
great.
watches, as someone who watches both of you, neither of you are boring, and you're both lovely, and we'll end on that lovely note. So everyone feel good.
We might
Everyone
be.
feel good.
We might be. I don't know. I'm not fully convinced. This has been great. Thanks for listening. Thanks for doing.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for it all. Now leave. Go forth. Do whatever you were gonna do now. Next. Oh, he left. They all left. That's great. Just good old Dan here. It's finally my time, baby.
This has been a production of 710 Media.